All right, let's try this one more time. I am plagued by that Idaho. I can't delete that live, and it like lurks back there. And if I don't think about it, it drives me crazy. YouTube fucking sucks. Welcome in here, ladies and gentlemen, to Murder Church on a Tuesday night. Going to be hanging out for a minute, going into this crazy story. Trans vegan death cult of computer science AI nerds who are anarchist and dress in druid style cloaks, murder three people across three different states, murder across three different states, California, Pennsylvania, Vermont. We're going to be diving into this story. Yeah, share it out, hit the like. Let's go.
Let's rock.
Yo, everybody, what's going on? Welcome in here for a Tuesday night Murder Church. Yeah, tonight we have a fucking wild one. Getting ready to rock and roll here. Yeah, anybody that just saw the live that was in there for just a second for the Idaho, that live plagues me. I created that like 2 years ago or something, and it's still like it just lurks back there, and I can't actually get rid of it. If I don't pay attention and click on the right live, which is the one I create every fucking day, I'll do that, and it's, oh my god. It's insane. Welcome in here, the folks that have come through tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, we have a fucking crazy story. This story is insane. Grizzly True Crime early. Gizla came through and did a really good live where I actually stole a lot of her graphics. I'm going to be using some of that tonight because she did an awesome job on getting some of these names. There's a lot of individuals and a lot of people. I've found somebody on X who, Zizian Murder Cult Summary, and this is somebody that says, I know a bunch of people who were involved or adjacent, including someone who accidentally got some footage. They have a little bit of a rundown here that's pretty brief, but then I have a whole story that is from The Independent that I want to read through here, but it's a fucking wild one, folks. It's completely insane. A radical vegan and transgender identifying group cult. And what's even crazier, some of these people are smart as fuck. Worked with NASA. I think the leader actually worked for NASA or interned at NASA. So yeah, we're gonna be diving into this. It's an insane story. Leader Jack Z's Lasota. I guess we'll refer to them as Z's though. The group is described as a smart, techie vegans, many of them transgender women who share an obsession with the dangers of artificial intelligence. So yeah, we're going to be diving into that. Again, thanks everyone for coming in. I appreciate it. If you could hit the like, that really helps me out. Yeah, let me start it off with some bells. That's what I'm talking about, CH. You know what's up. Let's make sure those are working. Oh, they are. Nice. Nice. Hell yeah. Like, right? Just all of that together sounds fucking insane. Let me get this in here so we can talk to each other. Boom, boom. Let's see if I can pop that up here. Boom. There we go. There we go. Gamzee's lurking while she's driving. Hell yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Let me first of all get over here. I want to show the folks. So this is actually, again, this is taken from Gizla, but again, this is the individuals who are a part of this cult. You have Michelle Zacco. Her parents ended up murdered. I believe that, at least we're about to dive into this story fully, but from what I understand, they had contacted her through the internet somehow, maybe through some kind of chat feature group, however they're getting members, I don't know, but they end up at her house and her parents end up dead. You have Daniel Blank, Gwen Danielson, Jack Z's Lasota, Z's Alexandra Leatham, Maximilian Snyder, and look at these ages as well. Teresa Youngblunt, Emma Borharian, Felix Bachholt, and Siri Dow. So there are some of the individuals that we're actually going to be looking at here. And one of the things that I want to start off here with was this article from this account right here, Ella Girl. And says, I know a bunch of people who were involved or adjacent to this cult. So they're going to give like a brief little summary here. And this is actually a pretty good little breakdown because the many factors of this story are crazy. But yeah, let's just start out pre-2019. Curtis Lind allows people to live in a trailer. And it goes deeper than this. This is starting a little bit later, but we're going to go completely into the story here. But I do want to just kind of go through here. Curtis Lynn's, basically lets them live on his land, under the understanding that they will be paying some rent. It's in California, initially offering affordable housing. And then they end up moving some vans onto this property, and the tenants stopped paying rent and are later referred to as the cult by neighbors in this area. Separately, at some point, Ziz attends a workshop for CFAR, which is a nonprofit organization who they were a member of previously and were actually asked to leave because they feared violence would kind of come from the surroundings of Ziz here. So in November 2019, this group banned Ziz and Gwen, that's exactly what I just said, from their alumni reunion party with fears of violence. In November 2019, same month there, Ziz, Emma, Somni, and Gwen, members of this cult, protest at the reunion with accusations of bad decision theory and transphobia. The protesters get arrested for blocking entrances. They were actually wearing the V for Vendetta masks during this protest. Fast forward just a little bit here, and we also have another photo here. Again, shout out to Grizzly True Crime. She did an incredible job with a breakdown she did earlier of this live. But just kind of giving some information here also about Ziz here. Again, this is the leader who was just arrested, I believe, yesterday. Ziz, started running a blog, and this is an interesting part right here. Ziz uses the term airlocking, which is, I'd never heard this term before. Maybe I just hadn't thought about it in this context, but a sci-fi term for killing, and wrote this in blogs. And here's a really interesting part, which I have this in my notes. Hold on, I want to get this up here. Ziz claims that people have two hemispheres, okay, with their brains on each side, and there are either non-good, single good, or double good, and then very rare, which Ziz herself is the double good. I'm sure the leader would think so, right? She promotes punishment of non-good people, particularly those that are not vegan. Goes back to a lot of the same tropes here with the veganism over and over and over will be mentioned again and again. Part of right here, non-good people, particularly those that are not vegan. Fast forward just a little bit. Now this is where it gets fucking insane. Okay. Jamie Zatko, a close friend of Ziz, claims that Ziz threatens to kill Jamie. I'm going to actually skip on a little bit further because we're going to get into the full story, but I want to get down here just a little bit. So Curtis Lynn, the individual that actually, this guy that's letting them live on his property. Okay, November 13th, 2022. This is insanity. Emma Boharian is killed by Curtis Lynn during a violent altercation at his property. Somni stabs Lynn with a sword, and Lynn shoots both Somni and Emma. So in this fight where he's being literally attacked with a fucking sword, he manages to get a gun and shoots. Lynn is stabbed dozens of times and loses an eye. Lynn's account is that they had been threatening him for some time, and one day requested for him to come fix a leak. They hit him from behind, and when he woke up, they were attempting to cut his head off. He had scarring consistent with this claim as well. He then shot Emma and Somni in self-defense. His friends claim upon entering the trailer afterwards, he found surgical equipment and chemicals he believed were intended to dissolve his body. Somni and Suri Dow are arrested. Ziz and Gwen are seen at the scene alive. It seems that Gwen had faked their own death earlier to escape court appearances, much as Ziz had, November 2022. Somni. So, and then we get into some arrests. I don't know if I have that graphic up. It might be here at the end. Emma actually is killed by Curtis here. And then two of the members actually get arrested that were also there as well. So let's move on a little bit forward. January 2nd, 2023. Richard and Rita Zacko are found dead from homicide in their Pennsylvania home. And I have this right here. This is the mother and father of, again, another cult member who ended up with these folks. Found dead of a homicide in their Pennsylvania home from gunshot wounds. The daughter, Jamie Zacko, was associated with Ziz, and we suspect the homicide was an attempt to gain money from inheritance, several $1 million. Police also suspect Ziz is involved in the murder. Police also suspect, and Ziz also, even before this, faked their death, where it was actually legally, they made it legal. Like they were lost. Like we're going to get into that. I'm sure it's in this story. Like it's an insane fucking, like this is a movie. This reads like a fucking movie. Police also suspect Daniel Blank, an associate of Z's, is involved in the murder. Police encounter Blank at the time of investigation, but Blank has not been seen with the suspect. He's dead. Z's is arrested in Pennsylvania for obstructing administration of law and disorderly conduct. So I'm not going to go any further there. I'm going to actually get into the story, and we're going to kind of read about it in detail. But this is insanity, dude. And just want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Thanks, everyone, for coming through. Appreciate it. If you'll come through and hit the old like. Dude, it's a nutty one, dude. It's absolutely insane. So, yeah, let's just jump in here real quick. Inside the Zizians, how a cultish crew of radical vegans became linked to killings across the United States. The four wore black hooded robes, and the classic protesters, the V for Vendetta mass, gathered near a secluded retreat in the woodlands, Northern California, about an hour and a half outside of Chicago. They parked their vehicles to block the entrances. Their goal was to disrupt the annual, and this is the CFAR that I was talking about earlier, Center for Applied Rationality, a little-known Berkeley think tank associated with the subculture known as rationalism. So when you really start to think about the types of folks these are, how smart they are, you know, at least Z's in general seems to be very bright and a very smart person with some pretty crazy a matter of facts. Like if you're not a vegan, you must die. That's pretty fucking extreme and insane. Flyers allegedly sent out beforehand accused the center of covering up sex scandals, discriminating against transgender women, violating basic principles of friendliness, and other trespasses. Then the SWAT team swooped in. According to a later police report, officers believed wrongly that the protesters were armed and that there might be an active shooter situation. The protesters were subdued, and some would later allege that they were assaulted and mistreated in custody. For most outsiders, this incident in 2019 of November was a baffling and short-lived news story. What nobody could have known then was that it was the beginning of a dark chain of events that would ultimately result in the deaths of at least 6 people. Last month, on January 17th, an 82-year-old trailer yard landlord named Curtis Lynn. And here's the thing. Everything I just told you about Curtis Lynn in 2022, he lived. They come back and murder this dude, okay? That just happened literally last month. Curtis Lynn was stabbed and died in his nearby California by a mysterious attacker wearing a mask and a black beanie. On January 20th, more than 3,000 miles away in Vermont, a U.S. border agent and young German maths whiz who worked as a financial trader were killed in a shootout. So this border patrol agent got murdered in this shootout. And then also someone in the cult within the car got murdered as well. So multiple members of this cult end up dead. And yeah, they had performed a routine traffic stop. But I did read also that they had been tracking them for quite some time, days even. Meanwhile, police in Pennsylvania are still investigating the murder of an older couple who were shot dead inside their home in Chester Heights, a suburb of Philadelphia, on New Year's Eve of 2022. What links these cases? According to prosecutors, public evidence, interviews, and media reports, and a small group of ideologically radical young people, most of whom are trans or non-binary, who appear to follow a left-wing anarchist offshoot of rationalist philosophy. In the midst of this web is a polarizing and cryptic figure known as Z's, a 34-year-old vegan computer scientist who played a leading role in the initial protest. Depending on who you believe, she may be the highly manipulative leader of Zizians, if I'm saying that correctly, cult, or simply one figure in a loose, neat network of rationalist defectors. Z's herself, known in court documents by her legal name Jack Amandus Lasota, was arrested in Maryland on Monday on misdemeanor charges. That was yesterday. While wanted in 2 states, she has not been charged or deemed a person of interest in connection to any of the killings yet. But her politics are central to a bizarre and tragic story involving Silicon Valley startups, a rent strike, allegations of abuse and indoctrination, an abandoned Alaskan tugboat. That's a whole other part of the story as well. They lived on a tugboat that was sinking at one point in California. That's how they ended up meeting this old dude who let them live there because he was nice enough to be like, yo, I got a spot for you. You can get your shit together. And the incoming machine apocalypse. All right, huh? Little Unabomber style talk there. Down and out in Silicon Valley, Z's moved down to San Francisco Bay in 2016 because, in her words, it was sort of her destiny. Her life so far certainly pointed that way. She had earned a computer science degree from the University of Alaska, where her father, her father works in AI, an AI researcher. She'd completed an internship with NASA in 2013, which is fucking nuts. Like many tech workers, she had also been drawn to the rationalist subculture and to the closely intertwined, effective altruist movement, which had a strong presence in Berkeley. She shared some rationalist belief that artificial intelligence would soon attain godlike power and could destroy humanity if not properly controlled. But Ziz attempted to break into Silicon Valley went poorly, according to her blog. She crashed out of job after job and bounced around between insecure temporary housing, all while transitioning to female and facing prejudice for it. Even so, she found friends among the rationalists. One of them was Gwen Danielson, another trans woman who developed a psychological theory that every person has multiple personalities within themselves, as well as techniques meant to awaken these personalities. In 2017, Ziz and Danielson embarked together on a plan to build a rationalist fleet and rehabilitated old boats that could offer cheap housing to talented young compatriots, freeing them to devote their energies to saving the world. They bought a nearly century-old tugboat named the Caleb in Alaska and sailed it down to the coast in the Bay Area, which is insane. It didn't sink. It sounds like this thing was a nightmare. Both forged links to CFAR to Think Tank. Danielson presented some of her psychological techniques at the 2017 CFAR alumni retreat, and in 2018, Ziz reportedly joined an apprenticeship program co-run by CFAR and the Machine Intelligence Research Institute, another rationalist nonprofit focused on managing the risk of AI. Meanwhile, on her blog, Ziz was developing her own branch of EA and rationalist philosophy, strange, dense, and full of unusual jargon such as anti-ethics, dictogamy, leakage, and timeless gambit. She classified people as zombies and vampires, or good, single good versus double good. Ultimately, her creed was anarchist and vegan. She felt that she lived in a society of flesh-eating monsters. And the most rationalist, drastically undervalued non-human life, any future super AI she believed must benefit animals too. I mean, a little crazy. Ziz seemed like an intensely ambitious and moralistic person who was interested in psychology and doing good things for the world. There is one crazy quote I want to show in here. Hold on. This is from the person that ran this CFAR, Anna Salomon. All right. So, in 2012, the Center of Applied Rationality, yada, yada, yada. But listen to this quote. Co-founder of the Center for Applied Rationality, Anna Salomon said, and this is after, remember, they asked these folks not to come back. They feared violence. And then, of course, they protested. I was viscerally afraid of Jack LaSoda, now known as Ziz. In a way, I've never been viscerally afraid of anybody. That's a pretty wild quote. Jessica Taylor, who met Ziz at Berkeley Rationalist event in 2015-16, stayed in touch for several years. They get very moralistic about philosophy. In an interview with San Francisco Chronicle, CFAR's executive director, Anna Salomon, who we just showed you there, describes Ziz as a young person who was hanging around and who I suspect wanted to be important. She claimed that Ziz repeatedly and intensely pushed MIRI to adopt the Danielson's psychological theories, then soured on the group when she failed to gain influence. Doesn't that sound like a lot of content creator influencers now, huh? You gotta find your little thing, you gotta figure out what's going on, even if it means selling your fucking soul. Over time, however, Zig grew apart from other rationalists. One, Placido Monum, I'm butchering that one, warning website, would later depict her as a manipulative cult leader who preyed on vulnerable trans people and sucked them into her Zizian ideology. People close to Ziz dispute this and allege that she was driven out of the community by abuse and mistreatment. There's no organization, there's no centralization. We're just a bunch of anarchist trans leftists that are trying to exist in current year in this world. said self-declared Zizian Octavia Newsin in an interview with internet journalist and podcaster. So how many people are in this group that are not like in the tight-knit group that still kind of have this ideology that they maybe live by, or even maybe even follow Z's? I don't know how much influence or control they have, but it seems like enough to have people out here doing some pretty wild shit, who assembled a detailed timeline of events and sources related to the group. The 4 people who protested at CFAR in 2019 were Z's Danielson, Z's friend Emma Boharian, who we know was killed by Lind. I believe that was his name. Curtis Lind, I believe his name was. And who reportedly worked at Google also, yeah. Another really smart person. You're going to be crazy smart to be working at Google. And a non-binary rationalist known as Somni, legal name Alexander Leatham. We also saw them. We'll take another look at the folks here. Again, major shout out to Gizla, Grizzly True Crime. She put together an incredible, I don't know if it was a live or a video, but whatever she dropped earlier was awesome. I watched that, went through it, gaining information, and I took a lot of these screenshots from her directly because she did such an incredible job doing it. So again, shout out to her. According to Newsin, who said she knew the protesters and had heard it multiple times from them, their intentions were peaceful if disruptive. Occupy the bridge leading to the venue, stop event goers from entering the retreat properly, and make their point heard. But Newsin said they didn't realize there was already a group of children inside the venue who were now unable to leave once they blocked the exits. It's unclear why the police believe they might be armed. The 4 were initially charged with felony false imprisonment and child endangerment before having their rap sheet reduced to misdemeanors. Both Z's and Danielson alleged that they were abused in police custody. I will actually never be able to trust society, even in a limited respect, like trusting cops to not torture you for literally doing nothing wrong. Here's 2 other ones. This is Emma Boharian, who again was killed, and then next to us is Somni. A deadly confrontation at a California trailer yard. Okay. Again, moving ahead here just a little bit. Again, thanks everyone for hanging out here tonight. I appreciate it. One thing that I was able to do this week, I got some mail going out. Yeah, I've got some stickers going out. I got some of my good stuff. Some shirts even went out. I believe I'm about caught up on the shirts. But yeah, we do have a wheel that's rocking and rolling. If anybody wants to get on there, I believe I don't know how far we are off from completing a wheel. But let me just take a quick gander there, just so we do know. Because I know we were working on one on Sunday, and I don't think we finished her up. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, we're about 3 away from a wheel. And earlier today, also on Twitter, I was doing a trans day of looking into stuff here today. Earlier, I was looking into the crazy Candace Owens story that everybody's talking about, or a lot of people are talking about. And I got a lot of heat online for that, for literally looking into that story, which I think is absolutely insane. I have not even had time to really make a full opinion on the story before people were going crazy. Even had someone straight up call me MAGA. Which is crazy for anybody that actually knows me. So yeah, I'm actually going into that story and looking into that and reading about it. And I think that's pretty interesting, honestly. It seems fucking nuts. I'm actually going to read one of my tweets here. The number of people who react strongly to my interest in the Bridget Macaron transgender story is quite revealing. No topic should be considered off limits for any discussion, and I wholeheartedly fucking believe that, regardless of ideology, race, or sexual orientation. Does not matter. Everything should be open for conversation. It's telling that some, particularly those left-leaning viewers, react so intensely without even understanding my position merely because I've looked into the story and I said it's absurd. And I do stand by that. I thought that was crazy. There's a lot of these weird little stories that I'm looking into. And yeah, I don't think anything should be off bounds. And I think that's actually a red flag when someone out the gate's like, you can't talk about this. Are you a transphobe? You a big old transphobe out here? No, I want to understand what the fuck's actually happening in some of these stories. But yeah, that got a lot of random. It got some people that I know on here had some decent conversations. But yeah, there was people that just was losing their minds on that thread. So I don't know. People are insane. But yeah, let's keep rocking and rolling here real quick. Oh shit, let's show off a little love here. Brooklyn coming through here 14 months, which is crazy. Let me also give you a little bit of your love. Brooklyn! Boom, boom. Then we got Kathy up in here, a member for 10 months. Holy shit, Kathy. And Kathy, I just now got the pumpkin shirt out also. So fuck yeah. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for that. If anybody in the chat sees Bonnie in here, one more time, I need Bonnie's information. I want to get an email with her full address. On Sunday, she'd come back through and added another part to the Addy that I hadn't had before. So I just want to make sure when I get this out, and I am going to try to do the FedEx. So I want to make sure everything's good, quite frankly. So, but yeah, let's keep rocking and rolling here. Again, this is a fucking crazy story, guys. This is insane. A deadly confrontation at a California trailer yard. During this time, Ziz and Danielson apparently began to itch to live again on dry land. They wanted, in Danielson's words, a way of living that was independent from the system of rent and social politics. Whoa, okay, fuck yeah. Jessica for Justice is in here. Have you heard about this one? This cult? Bonnie, yes, please send me one more time your address if you wouldn't mind. I know you've got my email, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind just sending that out, that'd be fucking dope. That'd be awesome. And I just want to, because on the stream on Sunday, you added something else, and I'm not going to give anything out. I don't want to do any kind of docs in here, but if you could just get that to me one more time, and I'm going to get that out. I've got it packaged up, ready to go, and I'm going to try to do that FedEx. So look at this guy, one fucking eye after getting stabbed in his eye by these fuck faces. So let's see here. Let's keep going. They wanted, in Danielson's words, a way of living, independent from the system of rent and social politics. Well, this guy wants some fucking rent. One of their quotes is actually, I don't even think I have it up here, but one of their quotes along the lines is basically essentially saying that, someone wanting rent from them is, basically encroaching on their fucking ability to live freely or some shit. Okay. A solution appeared in the shape. Dude, it is brand new, Jessica. Like, this is crazy. A solution appeared in the shape of Curtis Lind, a fellow boater who had anchored near the collab, and I guess he saw that shit was going to hell. He's nice enough to, hey, come on over. They were unhappy with the living on the tug. They decided that they wanted to move to my yard and buy moving vans. They could live in the moving vans and nobody would know that they're in there. He described himself as pretty friendly with some of them, friendly enough so that I took one of them to a Walmart to buy her first bra. The group moved into RVs on Lynn's land in Valero, north of the bay. According to the Chronicle, they abandoned the Caleb at Pillar Point, where it remains to this day, rusting, partially submerged, and too expensive for harbor authorities to remove. I read that it was $2 million to move this thing. What the fuck? Meanwhile, the crew's legal issues dragged on and their lawyer fees mounted. With the pandemic struck, California temporarily banned evictions, and so the group stopped paying rent. Well, that was perfect for them, wasn't it? It's not clear exactly who lived there, apart from Broharian, Dow, and Letham. Lynn described a rotating cast of 6 to 8 people who came and went, and would later testify that Danielson was the mouthpiece of the group. The atmosphere between Lind and his tenants seemed to have remained civil, if awkward, until July of 2022. At that point, California lifted its eviction ban, and tensions at the trailer yard began to rise. In August of 2022, according to the Chronicle, Ziz faked her death. Again, actually faked it, with Broharian and Z's sister Noemi telling authorities she had fallen into the water from her own boat. So they don't have a body, and they're just like, sure. That's California for you, actually. The Black Signet. We don't know where she was when Lind and his tenants finally came to blows on November 13, 2022. What happened that day is disputed. One of the blog posts purported to be from someone close to the group, but which the Independent could not verify, alleged that Lind had previously threatened his tenants. Dude, I also had a Manson vibe, especially from this part of the story, Threads and Roses. Lind had previously threatened his tenants and that he attacked first. Lind, in his 2024 interview, claimed that one of the group threatened him with a knife after he obtained a court judgment against them, prompting him to buy a gun out of concern for his safety. On the day, Lind alleged that one of the tenants tricked him into bending down to turn off the water supply and then attacked him without provocation. Yeah. Driving a samurai sword into his chest. This guy survived this fucking samurai sword attack. Like, what a badass. At that time, I pulled out my pistol and started shooting, and I just started fucking going. Fucking let's go. You kids want to play? You want to fucking party? Let's go. Whatever the truth, the incident ended with Lind and Leatham rushed to the hospital in critical condition, Borhanian dead. She had been shot and killed by Lind. In the aftermath, prosecutors charged Dow and Leatham with Borhanian's murder, which is interesting. And that's why they came back and got this guy just last month, because he was going to be testifying in this. Lind, they contended, had fired in self-defense, and therefore it was the tenants who were responsible for her death. They remain in custody today, awaiting trial. They know how to track people down. At this point, events get murkier. Many Zizians not already in prison dropped off the map, while new figures appear to have fallen into their orbit. Gwen Danielson split from the group and began living completely under the radar. According to her father, Brett Danielson, he told the Chronicle that he had last spoken to her, around 2024, 2025 winter holidays. So very recent. On December 31st, 2022, two people visited the home of Richard Zacco and his wife. And this is where, again, these two folks ended up being murdered. Shouts were heard from the home, and visitors stayed less than 20 minutes. A few days later, Pennsylvania police found the Zaccos dead from gunshot wounds to the heads. And again, their kid, Michelle, was part of this group. The investigation zeroed in on their daughter, Michelle Zacco, who often goes by Jamie and owned a handgun that uses the same type of ammunition. Zacco had previously lived in the Bay Area and appears to have known Z's for years. Lost my train of thought. Or not my train of thought, my place in reading. Zacco had previously lived in the Bay Area, known as Z's for years. In February 2022, a Tumblr account allegedly belonging to Zacco accused Z's of threatening to kill her if she did not kill a friend with whom Z's was feuding. No one had been charged with the elder Zacco's death, and Jamie, who is considered a person of interest, has denied any involvement in the parents' death, but reportedly stands to inherit their estate, which has been frozen due to ongoing investigations. And we saw earlier, that's millions of dollars. But when police detained Zacco in a hotel room in January 11th, she shouted at them to notify another guest that she was in custody. The next day, police returned with a warrant for the other hotel room. Inside, they found Daniel Blank, then 24, and completely immobile and uncooperative Z's. And then officers say she lay limp as if unconscious or dead. And there was a picture of this too. I don't know if I've got that one, but yeah, just unresponsive, just acting dead as they've got when they get there. Had to be carried out. Both were arrested, and Z's was charged with a misdemeanor obstruction and disorderly conduct. Eventually, friends got together to fund the bail. 2 years later, in January 2025, two things happened that at first glance might seem unconnected. In Valero, on January 17th, Lynn was killed outside his trailer yard while waiting to testify in this case from 2022 with Dow and Leatham. Police quickly arrested and charged 22-year-old data scientist and Oxford graduate Maximilian Snyder, who goes by Audrey. Acquaintances told the Globe that he was similar with Z's writings, and one has publicly alleged that he tried to raise money for her bail. Then in Vermont, again, less than a month ago, coming up right a month now, January 20th, U.S. border agents stopped a pair of young people on the estate. One was Milo Youngblood, known in court records as Teresa, who has been reported missing by their parents 1 year ago, and who had applied for a marriage license with Snyder in November. The other was Ophelia Buchholz, later known as Felix, a German national quantitative trader and former coding gold medalist. Like, they've literally put together like this barrage of incredibly smart folks. Taylor, who was friends with Buchholz, describes her as a socially strange and nonconformist who might not have understood normal people very well, but maintained a strong circle of close friends. She told The Independent that Buchholz had long been interested in rationalist ideas and was a fan of Z's blog before cutting contact with Taylor in late 2023. Buchholz and Youngblood had been under periodic surveillance since January 14th, when a hotel employee reported them as suspicious after seeing them carrying at least one firearm and wearing black tactical gear. Prosecutors allege that Youngblunt got out of their Toyota Prius and opened fire on the officers without provocation. God, I don't know why that word fucks me. Starting a shootout that killed both Bachholt and a Border Patrol agent named David Mayland. Police reportedly suspected Jamie Zacco of buying the handguns used by Youngblunt and Bachholt. A law enforcement bulletin described her as an armed and dangerous and said she followed an anti-law enforcement ideology. Finally, February 17th, this was yesterday, Zizians and Zacco were both arrested in Maryland on minor charges. Officials said they were arrested for on-site activity rather than for for an outstanding warrant, but refused to say more because the FBI is still investigating. The exact number, and there's the boat that's still out there, I guess, that they can't move unless they need. I mean, I read that it was going to be $2 million to get this thing out of the water. The exact nature of the potential connections between Youngblunt and Bachholt Snyder and the other Zizians, or indeed how they got involved in these situations, remains unclear. Still, many in Z's old community fear they will be targeted in score-settling attacks. That's crazy. Like, how deep does this go? And are there other folks that maybe we don't know about? I don't know, man. We are dealing with highly intelligent people who know how to track somebody down if they want to, said Brett Danielson, who was concerned that his daughter may have come to harm. If anyone of them wants to do somebody harm, they are going to do anything they can to track them down. And it seems like they are not afraid to kill somebody. For his part, when interviewed in the jail by the Chronicle, Snyder refused to comment on who killed Lind, instead dictating a letter to rationalist luminary Elzir Yudkowsky, urging him to stop eating meat and think of animals as people. The letter began, "I am not one of Z's friends, and neither she nor her friends endorse me or my words. As far as I know, I speak only for myself, as myself, for the sake of everyone. I swear on my laws." Yeah, sounds very cultish there. Very good ending. Well, I'm not really a part of them, but let me just finish this with a swear on my laws. I'm sorry, what? What the fuck did you just say? I did think this would be a good one. This was from Gizl also. Some of Jack's beliefs, Z's beliefs, radical veganism. Those who don't adhere to her beliefs were threatened, and she enforced her moral imperative. Identity. Jack transitioned to a female and equated her position to her identity with moral wrongdoing, threatening violence, and protesting transgender issues. Philosophy believed humans have two minds that can each have separate values and genders. On her blog, she wrote, "These two minds often desire to kill each other." That's the weirdest. That's a really very strange part with that weird ideology of the brain thing. Completely made up. Right, Pokemon? Yeah, fucking plants totally have feelings. And dude, there's lots of crazy studies on that stuff. Moral abolitism. Her approach to ethics was absolutist, where she believed in enforcing her moral code without compromise. This extended to justifying violence for what she perceived as moral causes like animal rights or personal vendettas against those who opposed her views. And then anarchism clashed with legal systems, property rights, and societal norms. Identified as a Sith, and said police harassed her for wearing my religious attire. So is the Sith thing a Star Wars reference in the end there? Other radical and esoteric ideas, living in extreme conditions to test or prove her philosophies. Yeah, some of this stuff is pretty nuts, though. There was a good one. This was from basically the end here. With the Border Patrol agent, an employee of the Newport City Inn in Vermont contacted the police to report their concern about two guests wearing black tactical style clothing. As you can see on the right up there from Youngblunt, I believe that looks like it's probably from the lobby, and said they had a gun exposed in a holster, which is just fucking stupid. They were under surveillance for several days before they were pulled over on January 20th, 2025 in their Toyota Prius for an immigration check. The friend, Teresa Youngblunt, pulled out a gun, and the shootout with Border Patrol agents took place, killing Ophelia and one Border Patrol agent. Teresa was injured and charged with the death of David, and 2 federal weapons charges because the pair had been traveling with a large collection of weapons and tactical and even night vision goggles. And then when they got to North Carolina, one of the stories, like the neighbors were saying that they didn't really see them during the day. They would only see them at night, and they would walk around the neighborhood at night. And I mean, what the actual hell, dude? This story is nuts. Oh, oh shit, coming through the old Venmo machine. Kathy going to come through here, and awesome. 420. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let me give you a look. That Kathy. Kathy's always coming through representing. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
I'm telling you like it is, baby.
Love to see it. And yeah, everyone who came through here tonight, I really appreciate it. Thank you all very much. I did dive into this one pretty quickly. But it's a wild one. I'm going to try to keep some tabs on this one as it continues to go down. So, Jesus Christ. And yeah, Twitter's just absolutely insane. But yeah, man, what the actual hell? This reads like a movie. This will make an incredible film or a crazy Netflix documentary. Guaranteed, dude. Guaranteed. BGOG coming through here. Hell yeah. Just looking through the chat here real quick. I didn't get to look at a lot of this. I was reading this entire time. But I would recommend going and watching Gizla's just because she did a lot of work in her presentation and stuff. Didn't have time for that. That's why I stole those. Lori coming through also. That's true. I do see a lot of stuff through 80s movies, man. I love the 80s are the best, dude. Fucking best. I love seeing Threads and Roses in here tonight, too. It's awesome. I'm with this. Yo, Fondon coming through here. I appreciate it. Dude, Jessica is all into those cults. She's always messaging me about some cult stuff. We need to get another show diving into something. That'd be fun. That one we did was awesome. Oh, damn, Not Guilty. That's crazy. Shit. I saw everyone talking about it, but I didn't actually watch it. I didn't keep up with that one either, but that's interesting. Dude, I try, man. Like, the craziest ones, you know, I jump in on some of these, and they're nuts, dude. They're absolutely nuts. To this one, man, I don't really know what to make of it. This fucking Bridget Macron one. Like, I'm still early. I've only watched the introduction and then like her second video. It's a lot to take in. So I don't know exactly where I'm at on it. I know that Candace Owens is more far right leaning. But I've seen a lot of people say, you know what, maybe kind of dive into this. We'll see how it's kind of going viral. And a lot of people kind of putting some emphasis on that it's convincing them. This is what she's finding. So the fact that maybe Bridget Macron was born a man and then, you know, transitioned, again, that's neither here nor there for me, honestly. There's another part of it that is, there's like a grooming part of this story as well. When she was a teacher at like 39 years old, that's when she first met Emmanuel Macron, the French president, when he was like 14. So there's some other weird stuff in general in this. But I don't know. It's a fucking crazy dive is what it has been so far. But man, just seeing the backlash from people just trying to get some information and trying to see what's going on was really strange, honestly. Like, I guess I expected it a little bit, and I even kind of figured that with the kind of person that Candace Owens is and some of the stuff that she does share. But I know that she had also been covering the Blake Lively stuff here recently as well, and kind of getting on some of that stuff. So, you know, and I was talking to somebody earlier, I think it was Charlotte on there, who's awesome, who's absolutely amazing, and is anything from any kind of, you know, right-leaning anything. But, you know, there's people that from all aspects of life that I still, you know, would give some credence to if they're doing the legwork and presenting a story correctly and they're showing their evidence. So that's what I'm kind of giving this a chance at anyways. And, you know, however you land on that's however you land on it. But I think it's pretty fucking interesting. That's all we do. Jumping in rabbit holes now. It's X, a aspiring court reporter. Good to see you in here. Just on X, honestly, diving through all this crazy shit. That's what we do. That's what we do. We're doing it now. Doing it now. Next time you'll see me will be Thursday. I'm trying to put together some shows. Kind of weighing my options. I want to get Bob back on here, but also there's another creator that I'm talking to that it's not 100% at all. Like she's taking a YouTube break actually, but she does post on X still, and she was kind of doing some stuff with Koberger, and I just thought she had some really cool takes, and I'd like to kind of get her and Bob together and me to have like a conversation about Koberger and really people that are just not hardcore crazy defense dick riding folks, quite frankly. If that's who you are, that's fine, but I want a little bit more out of the conversation, and I know Bob's a little bit more in the middle, she may be a little bit more on the other side, and I'm just trying to figure this thing out. So I think it'd be a cool conversation. Again, that's just a tease because none of that is solid at all. She wants to get back to me. But yeah, there's even some bigger accounts that I'd like to get on here to maybe do some interviews with. And I think that it's accessible and possible. The reach for Publicly Buzzed seems to be pretty decent within this sphere and this field of true crime, and I think I just need to do it. You know, I get kind of nervous still sometimes, which is silly. You know, really when I'm on here by myself, I can free flow. But, you know, when I have some real professionals on here, there's still a little bit of a nervous thing to it. And, you know, even so much that, you know, it's hard to reach out sometimes. But I think we could do some really cool stuff on this channel with some interesting people, with some interesting conversations that aren't the norm maybe. And I'd like to get other people's opinions on a variety of different things, and opposing opinions as well. And I know a lot of that can be difficult, and it's even difficult for me sometimes because, you know, a lot of this can be really contentious, but I think that's the way, man. Like, even today, the way I was answering a lot of these folks, you know, through this thread with the mackerel thing, I was very polite, but very blunt about my stance. You know, some people I feel like we're trying to bring it into the transphobia thing just to deter me from talking about it, and I called him out. I was like, I think that's bullshit. I think that's silly, and I think that's kind of what a lot of people want, especially the mainstream media. If there's any kind of meat on this bone of this wild story that's being presented right now by Candace Owens, I don't fucking know, but I'd like the opportunity to look into it and then come up with my own thoughts after the fact. So I don't know. I'm rambling here, but we're gonna do it. We're going to do it, baby. We're going to do it. Look at this. You see my arm over here? That's from going out and getting gypsy, man. She's going crazy and ended up in a fucking briar bush. Oh, yeah. We do it. We do it, baby. We're going to get some cool ones on here. Gonna do it. Dude, that stuff's awesome. I kind of want to do something with the Blake Lively stuff as well and Ron Reynolds because I've been keeping up with that. And, I think it'd be cool, man. I think that's an interesting one. Some of that like Hollywood gossipy stuff, man. Lauren Connell would be good on here, like especially with what she does. She does the crime and the kind of the pop culture stuff. That'd be a good one. And we did that Epstein episode, which is also diving into some controversial stuff. Which it's not, you know, everyone knows he's a piece of shit, though, right? Like, there's no one really coming through the chat that's trying to like have Epstein's back, and if they are, I haven't seen that, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, we're doing it. You know what we're doing. Shelly already knows we're killing the thing out here. Oasis Cat's in here. I know Bob was live too. I figured that would. That's why I tried to go on just a slight bit earlier than 8:30. But yeah, I know he's doing probably some Delphi stuff over there. The case that doesn't sleep, as they say. The case that doesn't sleep. If I had a guitar. And the case that doesn't sleep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The case that doesn't sleep. Oh no, you're a good one, Oasis Cat. No, I wasn't shouting you out here or calling you out. No, some folks that are truly into Buzz Nation immediately get it or know. And dude, I get that she's super contentious. Like I understand. I really don't follow anything that she does outside of kind of knowing some of the viral stuff, but you know, seeing some folks kind of giving some weight to kind of some of the wild accusations that are being thrown out there, it's piqued my interest to see exactly what's going on. And somebody that's already into crazy conspiracy stuff and truly believes that they're elite fuckfaces that run this fucking planet. I mean, I think it's right up there with some wild shit. No, Oasis Cat, I love you. You're good. See right here, Sarah, I'm invested though. Candace Owens is a bridge too far for me. Have not followed her coverage at all, and I get it. I mean, I did understand that was going to be that was going to, but I mean, I'd like to just, which I mean, most of the, well, we'll say this, anyone that's coming on there, it's really attacking. Like they don't know me, they don't even know the show, but like, how shitty is that? Like you can't even say anything about anything that's like on the fringes at all without being just put into these lumps of whether you're this leftist extreme here or you're this rightist extreme here. Like that's so fucking silly, and like the fact that we are already put in these subgroups is so dumb. Like it's killing us as just even able to have open conversations. Now that would be cool too, man. I think I'm gonna actually reach out to her too and just, I mean, that would be good, man. I'd be respectful. It'd be good. I'm gonna start getting them going, pumping them out here. Which I'm working on a new video. Hopefully this Sunday it'll come out a new wrestling video. It's a pretty interesting story as well. Not as wild as the Andre story that was the last one, which was fucking horrific. But the next one is still a pretty wild story though, and hopefully get it rocking and rolling. I've got it pretty much laid out. I just got to do all the actual editing work to it. So yeah, Dan's basement got it pretty bad. We luckily didn't get anything major in our home. Cassie's aunt had a pretty rough situation going on right now, which she's got flood insurance, so hopefully it'll be okay. But still, you know, that's a really old family house, and just it's a really shitty situation. They lost heat. And just seeing folks in this area, we've had a couple of, you know, I think we're up to 3 dead. Like, this has been a really bad one, man. Seeing some of the stuff locally is just, it makes you think, man, like we're lucky. It's crazy. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Man. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Dan's murder basement completely flooded. Not completely, not as crazy as the one time. 'Cause he's got a pump in there now, but it just couldn't keep up. So Strychnine coming through here. Watch us replay because it's a fucking crazy story, dude. Like it's insane. It's a nutty one. Let's see here. Yep, Thursday night, come back through. We'll see what we're doing. 9 is the normal time frame there. We'll see if we can get Dan in on that one. I'm not sure. He's got a lot going on right now, some personal stuff too. But the Feral Friday, we're definitely, if I can, Chris Stewart's coming in for Feral Friday for sure to watch some cops. So fuck yeah, I do have a guest for Friday. It's going to be a banger episode with Chris. Hell yeah. That just got me excited even thinking about it, man. I love hanging out with Chris. He's a really good one. Super real dude. Well, you know, he loves a good golf simulator. He goes to this golf simulator on the reg now. But yeah, man. I'm looking through here, making sure I'm not missing nothing. I don't believe I am. Oh yeah, Shelly, thanks for that share. See that? Boom. I'm gonna give it a repost there as well. And I'm seeing everybody post the ASAP Rocky, found not guilty. Yeah, I didn't keep up with that one at all. Seeing Kevin Spacey has a new video, and he looks like fucking shit. Look at this piece of shit, dude. Look at this. This is a rapist piece of shit right here. I don't even want to hear what the hell you're talking about. I don't give a fuck, Kevin Spacey. People follow this fuckface. 3.7 million, dude. Yeah, this dude fucking sucks, man. And everyone that during the Me Too shit with him, I mean, this should be fun to deep dive him, honestly, because during the Me Too shit with him, all of the people that were saying that he had done some shit, all the dudes, all ended up fucking dead. Not one guy. At least 2 guys. I need to look it up. Let me grok it real quick. Let's see what they say. How many people died before court Kevin Spacey? That might be a terrible way to do it. We'll see. Yes, based on available information, 2 individuals who accused Kevin Spacey of sexual misconduct died before their court cases could proceed, bro. All right. Anonymous massage therapist. He accused Spacey of sexual assault during a massage session in 2016. The accuser died in September 2019, leading to the dismissal of the lawsuit after his death. Ari Bryn, an author and former Norwegian royal who accused, well, that's crazy, a Norwegian royal who accused Spacey of groping him at the Nobel Peace Concert in 2007, died of killing themselves in December 26, 2019, bro. Come on. What? Are we serious? Like, people suck, dude. Like, this guy's a fucking, potentially, if he didn't murder them, somebody, what is going on, dude? Like, questions need to be asked here. It's pretty fucking sus. Absolutely. Like, I don't know, dude. Kevin Spacey sucks, dude. He sucks. Do you remember when, after he got canceled and that Netflix show went down, every couple of, I think it was every year for a minute, he would upload a video in that character, like the president's character from that show from Netflix. I don't remember the name of it. I didn't watch it either, but he played the president on this show. It gets canceled. I think it got another season and they took him out, but whatever. He would still post Christmas videos in character, and they were fucking creepy as shit, dude. Like him chopping something, or him in front of the fireplace drinking wine, just like being fully in character, saying some weird shit. Like, dude, that guy's creepy as shit. Like, the skeletons in that guy's closet are literal. Okay, I'm just saying. Allegedly. Let's throw that on there. I know, it's fucking me up. House of Cards, yeah, dude. Like, dude, those videos of him are creepy as hell. He would upload them on YouTube. That's the truth. And a lot of this shit's coming out there today, man. Like, I don't know how, that's honestly why the story we did here tonight, how fucking wild was that story? Like, that's almost why I can believe this crazy fucking Macron story. Because it's like, dude, we live in a science fiction movie, essentially. Like, everything's fucking crazy all of the time. Like, nothing makes any sense. It drives me crazy. All right, guys, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm going to stop wasting time. Go over there and hang out with old Bob. I'll send you over there. Oh, man. Idaho 4 live kills me, dude. Oh, let's see. Where's he at? Where is he at? Boom, 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 boom. Here he is. Boom. There we go. All right, I'll send you over there. And yeah, man, come back through Thursday night. We'll have a good one. And of course, Friday with Chris, we're going to have a really good one. And yeah, have a good rest of your evening. Keep up with me on Twitter tomorrow, because I'm going to keep posting updates about that macro stuff as I keep going through those podcasts. I'm only on the second one, and they are super long. But I will say they're pretty thorough. And then you can kind of do a little bit of legwork yourself on the side. I don't know. We're going to see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much. I love you. Let's go. Oh, wrong one. Okay.